All right, what is going on today? So, before I jump into what this video is going to be about and who I got to speak to today, please let me introduce myself. My name is Mark, and since I was a little kid, I've really struggled with, my mental health. And I started this YouTube channel and also a podcast to basically just talk to different individuals that have gone through different things to hear their perspectives and hear how it helps shape them into the people that they are. So, if you're brand new to this content, then please feel free to join me on this journey and follow along, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and comment below what you think about these conversations. If you're not brand new to this, then thank you so much for following along with this journey and supporting the notion that no matter what someone is going through, they are not alone. And I really appreciate that. I think that's something that's super important. So the only thing I ask is if you enjoy this stuff, then refer it to a friend, show it to someone that, is maybe going through some struggles, has gone through some struggles, or just wants to push their life in a better direction. And if you have any topics or any people that you think I should chat with, then please let me know. Find me on social media or comment it below. Now let's jump into this conversation. I got to chat with Andrew Fleming, and he's a really good buddy of mine. He's a brother to me, and I got to speak with him about his different perspectives and the values that he has in his life and how that's helped shape him in the last few years. So without further ado, let's jump into this conversation because I know you guys are going to enjoy it just as much as I did. Bang, we are recording. What is going on today? I am chilling with Andrew Fleming, the man, the myth, the legend. He is a brother to me. We've grown up together. We've known each other since we were in preschool. We were probably 5 years old when we met. But Andrew, why don't you kind of just jump in and just tell people who you are, what you're about, and what you kind of do.
Okay, man. So a little bit about myself. I work for the city now. I paint lines in the roads. It's an awesome job. I really enjoy it. I'm all about just my life nowadays is pretty family oriented. I'm just a lot of my time spent outside of work is just spent with family and yeah. Mm, yeah.
That's sick, man. Sweet. And so what do you think kind of draws you towards just spending so much time with your family and spending time with your loved ones?
I don't know. I guess a little bit of it might be due to the fact my past, in my past, I went through a difficult time for a while, and I was very much not family oriented. I felt like I didn't focus on that at all at the time. So and family is an important thing to me. It always has been. It just was lacking at that time. And so now I have a great relationship with my girlfriend and her son, and with my family, my own, my own close family. So, I feel like because of that, it's kind of made me open my eyes to what's important in life in a way. I realize that we're getting older, and I want to focus on the right things. I don't want to be focused on the wrong things. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously there's definitely benefits to having a support group around you, having a group around you of people that love you and care about you. What kind of benefits have you found since you've kind of, I wouldn't really say rebuild, because I don't feel like it was damaged really much to a detrimental point, but what kind of benefits do you think you found since you've gotten such a stronger connection with your family?
Good question, man. Benefits. I find that I have a lot more kind of respect for myself. I feel I feel like I'm focused on the right things. I feel like I'm not going down the wrong path, and I feel that I feel good about myself these days. I feel like I'm doing the right thing, and I feel it helps me with confidence, and to know that generally doing the right thing, and you're there for your family, and you're doing those things, it helps me personally, and I'm sure a lot of other people who are close with their family. It helps you feel like, connected, and and have like that solid support group. And I know that those people are there. I know that my family is there for me. I know that they would do anything for me. And yeah, it just feels good. It feels good to have family in your life, man. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I actually kind of have been rebuilding a little bit of like the relationships that I have with my family members as well in the past little while. And I find that it's made me appreciate a lot more of the things, not just friends or family members, but a lot more of the things that like money can't buy. Like I feel like I can relax a lot more and just spend time with people and not have to spend money to kind of stimulate like any like conversation, like to go out for a restaurant or anything like that. You can just kind of like chill out and do nothing, and you can appreciate the things that money can't buy, right?
absolutely, dude. No, I couldn't agree with that more, man. Yeah, like I mean, I've never really had an excess of money in my life, but I feel like I don't even need to have that money to know that, like, money can't buy happiness. And you get a different, I feel like there's a different level of happiness you get, not only from maybe like, you get a certain version of happiness from money, but it's not that genuine, true to your core happiness that you would get from spending time with family, and seeing smiles on your family's face, and knowing that those people are doing good and they're happy. And so yeah, I mean, like, that's something money can't buy, right? Like, so.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And do you think like it's possible to create that kind of environment if you didn't have like maybe like any family members living near you or around, or maybe they passed away, like hopefully not, but do you think it's possible to set up like an environment like that without like a family?
Absolutely, man, 100%, dude. I mean, family, I feel like, yeah, like, I have like a really close family that's always been good to me. And like, but family doesn't need to be blood, man. Like, we're family. Like, um yeah, I mean,
Absolutely,
you don't
man.
need to be blood to be family. You build your family, if that's if you don't have people around you, man. That's, you build what you want, right? You make life. Life is what you make it, man. You just if you don't have those people around you, you just got to develop that. You got to develop some relationships, and build that, man.
Yeah. Have you seen like obviously like have you seen someone struggle with that and then be able to kind of build that group around themselves at all?
Yeah, yeah, I have seen that. And
What do you think like it takes? Like what do you think like you got to do? Like if you were, obviously it's a like it's a difficult situation to like kind of maneuver around, but like what would be like your kind of advice for someone that would be like stuck in that situation where they're like, man, I just feel like I'm all alone.
uh, somebody who's feeling all alone, man, I'd say, just keep your head up. Don't let any kind of like setbacks or anything, like, deter you. And like, you gotta put yourself out there. I mean, if you're looking to build a family from, if you don't have those people in your life or those relationships, say you want to develop relationships that have taken a hit, or like, or not as strong as you want them to be, or start a whole new family. I mean, it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of hard work. You have to put yourself aside a lot. You have to put those people ahead of yourself, and in turn those people will do that for you. As you build those relationships, those people will put their feelings aside and their wants and needs aside for your happiness. And so it's kind of like a beautiful circle.
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of like you almost actually feel good about it when not like take a hit for somebody, but when you make a sacrifice, you just kind of give to someone. Like it kind of makes you feel good. Like especially if it's a family member or someone that you like, you love, like a friend or something like that. Like I feel like when you do put your own happiness aside for someone else, it ends up coming back to you anyways. Like you kind of feel good anyways.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. 100%, man. That's yeah. I mean, it's like that. Like I said before, like that's where you get that genuine happiness that you can't get from other things, is from doing those things for the people you love and care about. And yeah, it gives you a different kind of happiness. It's a different kind of thing. And yeah, it's just it's great, man. It's great.
Absolutely, man. Now, this is kind of like a little bit of a subject change, but like a lot of people nowadays are talking about like the new thing is to not work like a 9 to 5 or to just kind of be like a self-made entrepreneur. Like everyone, it's like a hot topic, you know? And I'm kind of in the same boat as you right now. I work I wouldn't say 9 to 5 because I work 7 to 3s, but you know, I work like a day job, right? And I was wondering, like, because whenever you talk about your job, you seem like, you know, it's impacted you positively. You say like you enjoy it, you really love it, and you said like you've talked about the different benefits of it. Like, do you think obviously you agree with like the fact that people could be happy just working like a 9 to 5? Like, I think that's like, I think in my opinion, it's whatever works for you. If you need to work by yourself, then do that. If you need to work with other people, then do that. But like,
Uh,
what do you think is causing people to feel like they just need to work for themselves like so much? I feel like our generation is just like about that.
yeah, what's causing people to do that? It's be tough to say. I think people nowadays are too caught up in their own thing, and like they're too, I mean, I don't want to say like don't chase your dreams, right? Like if you know, working for yourself is something that you want, like follow that, man. Like do that. But like, you know, you can find happiness in places that you didn't think you could find them, you know? Like I didn't think that this is what working for the city is what I do for the rest of my life, or potentially for the rest of my life. But you know, it's what I'm doing now, and it makes me happy. And I feel proud of what I do. I feel proud of the work that I put out. And you know, that also gives me like a different kind of happiness too. And yeah, what's causing people to be like that? Yeah, I just think it's just our generation's a little lost, man. If I have to say, you know, I think kids nowadays are just a little too entitled. Not all kids, you know. I mean, some kids, you know, everybody's different, but you know, I just think, yeah, kids, they have it easy nowadays, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like the glorification of just like, oh, like look at what I've done. I don't know, because I kind of fall in between. Like I feel kind of torn between the two, because I do have like that sense of kind of independence and just like wanting the autonomy, but I also feel good. Like you said, like I really like my job in the sense that, you know, I like to see the work that I've put in. I like I like that I can look at the end of the day and see like a finished product, right?
Yeah,
For
yeah,
people that don't know, I work in construction Monday to Friday, so that's kind of like one of the benefits I find with working in like a manual labor job like that, is like you can kind of take a look and actually see what you've accomplished that day. So it's kind of nice. I feel like that's like a huge confidence boost for anybody.
absolutely, dude. 100%. Like I paint the lines on the roads most days. Like I work in the sign shop at the city of Richmond, and so I paint the lines on the roads, and so I see it. You know, I see the work that I do. I see it when I drive to work. I see it when I leave work. You know, it's constantly in front of me, and I love that because you know I can constantly just look at the ground and feel proud. You know, like I just look at the lines that I painted. and it makes me feel, I did that, that was me. I painted that line. And it's straight. That's a straight line, man. That's a good line. Like, like it's just,
Yeah.
it gives you a sense of accomplishment. And like I get to go home at the end of the day and feel good that I improved my city that I live in, and feel like I did my part. And not everybody needs to do that. Not everybody needs to, you can find different ways to contribute to society without doing something like that. But, having that for me, that I really enjoy physically seeing what I have done. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so between like kind of like working on your relationship with your family and working on like obviously your work, is there anything that you find that it may not even be perfect right now, but like is there anything else that you find that really contributes a lot to your happiness?
Um, yeah, I mean, there's definitely like other stuff. Like I need my downtime and my time to myself. That's self-care. That's important to have somebody's happiness. Like, you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself. You can't just be like, you can't be like 150% giving everything you have and not getting anything in return to help build yourself and have that ability to give out. Like, you have to like build that um build that up. And yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but
No worries, man. No worries, man. And when you say things like hold on one sec, someone's opening the garage underneath me.
no worries.
When you say things like when you're doing things for others, like say like a friend or a family member, like that doesn't always, in my opinion, I feel like people always hear that and they're like, oh, I have to spend money, or I have to get them gifts, or I have to like maybe help them out with like buying something. I feel like people always think that helping someone out or doing something for somebody else means like equates to spending money. Like when you say like you're giving to people, like what kinds of things are you talking about, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure. Just doing stuff for other people, just hanging out with my girlfriend's son, who's I look at as my own. He's my own son as well. But just you know hanging out with him and seeing him and feeling good. Like, I don't need to buy him something to do. Like the other day, I sat down with him and we played this. We called it the gift game, and I just took some cardboard and I cut it up into like a little ninja star and put some tape on it and colored it. And he did this. He made his own little present for me. And I'll tell you what, I bought stuff for him and given it to him, and like the look on his face, making this gift and giving it to him, like something that I made with my hands, just right there. I think that made him happier than any gift I've ever bought at the store and given him. So yeah, I mean, you definitely don't need to spend money to give that happiness, or so
That's sick, man. Don't you wish you knew that before you bought all that stuff?
yeah, definitely. I just make everything, man. I just buy a bunch of cardboard and just every Christmas just make like a set of ninja weapons or something and give
Dude,
it
he'd be stoked.
oh
He'd be
yeah, you can fire
stoked.
it up.
Why do you think like, because even as like a kid, you don't even really like understand money, and like I feel like how do you think why do you think he had that reaction? Like I feel like you don't even understand money at that point. You can't really like, I guess you can tell the quality of toys and stuff, but like why do you think by receiving cardboard he was like more stoked than getting like a toy or like a treat?
Yeah, that's a really good question, man. And I actually was thinking about that a lot because I was like questioning that too. I was like, man, he's like really happy about this like piece thing that I made for him, and like
Yeah.
so I was thinking about that exact same thing, and I think it was just just the fact that I made it, you know, just the fact that like he looks up to me a lot. He looks up to, you know, I'm a role model to him, and that I could just take this cardboard and cut it up and turn this into this thing, you know, and I made that for him. That I think that adds a value that you can't, that adds something that you can't buy in the store, you know.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy though, as like a kid, like that they could see that. Like it's nuts to me, because I feel like thinking about myself at his age, like I feel like, dude, like you have no concept of money. You have no concept of, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like kind of, it's kind of
he has,
nuts, man.
yeah, he has like no concept of money. Like, you know, he just like, you know, he'll see something in the store and it could be like $100 and just like, I want that. Like, it's like, dude, like, no, like, it's
Yeah.
not Christmas, it's not your birthday. I can't drop $100 on something right now, man. Like, you know, so he doesn't. That's not there, right? That's not there yet. And I think that's like a blessing, you know, to not, like, it's a blessing to um it's a blessing to not have to be able to. I'm lost here, dude. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. It's all good. I think it's like, I think if I can guess where you're going with it, I feel like it's kind of like a blessing to kind of be ignorant to that. It's kind of cool to be blinded to,
Yeah.
like, when you're a kid, like you don't really have like the stresses of, oh, I got to pay these bills, or my parents have to pay these bills, or whatever it is. Like you kind of, like, I feel like at that age
Thank
you're
you.
just kind of,
That's exactly where I was going with that, man. So yeah, you got it.
yeah, I feel like, yeah, I completely agree. It's kind of a blessing for sure. It's definitely something that we just get to mostly appreciate. I feel like in like this type of society that we live in, you know, we don't really have many like imminent dangers to us. So I feel like as a kid, you're able to just kind of have that ignorance. You're able to just kind of, like they say, you know, like ignorance is bliss, right? Like you kind of just get to chill.
That's it, man. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, man. That's it. You know, he's able to just go through life and not worry about those things, and that's cool for him. You know, you know, he gets to have that perspective, and yeah, I mean, I think that's cool.
It's a pretty sick part about just being a kid, because I feel like after being a kid, ignorance is like less cute and more like annoying. Like I feel like,
Dude, 100%, man. Absolutely. You know, when you're a kid, it's cute. Yeah, it's funny. And then as you get older, you know, if you carry that ignorance into your adulthood, it just nobody likes that.
nobody likes that, man. That's no good. If you're ignorant, just don't do that, man. Nobody
Yeah,
likes
don't do that, dude. Change,
nobody
change,
likes it.
change, man. Don't be
Yeah,
like that.
nobody likes it, dude. I've been trying to change for years, dude. It's not working.
Oh, me too.
That's sick, dude. So, like, when we talk about change, like, what kinds of things have you kind of implemented in the last, like, kind of couple years? Because you obviously you've gotten like a new job. You kind of stayed with it for the last couple years. You're really enjoying it. Like, when you try and implement change, what do you like? What does that look like for you?
Um, you know, what does change look like for me?
Yeah, or like what kind of changes have you gone through in the last couple of years, maybe?
Okay, I mean, man, a ton of changes. Like the person I was a couple years ago is just like it's night and day. You know, if you're, you know, I mean, you know, I mean, is a different person, man. You know, and like I was talking about before, I mean, you know the struggles I went through, but the audience here doesn't. And you know, I went through a tough period when I was just out of high school. You know, 19 years old. I went through a tough time where I was, you know, had a bit of addiction issues, and so I was not somebody that I liked. You know, I didn't like who I was. So I mean, skipping past everything that happened. I mean, we can go back to that, but like when I finally was ready to change, and I was done with that life, you know, I had a lot of changes to make. There's so much stuff that I needed to change, and it was overwhelming. You know, it was so much stuff. It was like, you know, it was concerning. You know, it's like scary. It's like, oh my God, I have to change like everything about me, because like how I'm operating right now is not working. It's not working. I need to do a total 180. So you know, I changed everything. You know, I changed, you know, my diet. I changed what I do, implementing more routine in my life. You know, I got this job, and that was a big boost in my self-confidence and you know, feeling of self-worth, and you know, and then I met my girlfriend, and I had to make a lot more changes too, because she has a son, and I had to become more of a role model, more of somebody like a child could look up to, and model his life after, model who he is. And, you know, so I had to, yeah, I mean, I had to do a complete reform of my life, like complete change of my life. And, yeah, a lot of stuff changed.
Yeah. And, you know, obviously we went through, you know, different things in terms of, you know, like struggles with, you know, mental health, or whatever, however you want to classify whatever struggles that we went through. Obviously we have different paths that we walked, but I also kind of had, you know, a long time where I was struggling with quite a few things, and I kind of reached a breaking point where I knew like I kind of needed to get help. Like I was like, okay, this is like, dude, I can't manage this. I kind of felt similar to how you were saying. Like I was like, look, dude, like you got a lot of changes to make. Like it's like, you got to deal with this now, because this is not heading in the right direction. Like you know, and like I've been always trying to figure out like what it was that like actually flipped the switch for me. Have you ever
Yeah.
thought about that? Like of like where you were, because like the whole time I was struggling with, you know, my mental illnesses, I was like, you know, I feel like I got this under control. I feel like, you know, if I can spend a couple more months like using some medication for my doctor, or if I just try doing this or that, like I feel like I got this. And then there was a day where I was just like, dude, you don't got this.
It's not working. Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
100%. Like whatever it's not working. This path, this whatever you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I totally feel that, man. What flipped? You know, in my life at the time, I had a family that was concerned, very concerned, but also loved me to death and wanted to help me. So I was blessed that I had that, you know, especially my mom. My mom was incredibly supportive, and, you know, I wouldn't be here without her, honestly. I truly would not be here without her. So part of it was like her, like helping me and being there, just being there for me through my struggle. And then when the time came and I realized that like this was bad, like I'm gonna die. Like honestly, I was going to die, like 100%. And I saw how it really hit me that like how this was affecting her, and you know, I think it had a lot to do with that, with like seeing how it was affecting my mom, and like done nothing but help me my whole life. She's been like the best mom anybody could ask for, and this is how I repay her. And it just kind of hit me one day, and I was like, you're gonna need to do some suffering here to like better yourself, to make some changes, because like it's not fair. It's not fair at all. Like, you know, it's not fair to her what you're doing. And like I think it just kind of hit me. It was family, man. It was family. Yeah.
That's actually beautiful, man. Like it's kind of, I feel like there's two parts of it. I feel like the first part is like you actually, I feel like there's just one part to it. Like you kind of just don't give a shit about yourself. Like that's kind of where it is, like where you're at. Because like even with myself, when I was dealing with depression, and you know I was in a really really rough stage of my life, like you kind of just you stop giving a shit. You're like, whatever, what happens happens. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
And you kind of become careless. And when you see people that you care about caring more about you than you do, like it's kind of alarming, I feel like when you notice that.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, yeah, yeah, it was. It's tough, man. Even just thinking about it now, you know, it brings back memories, and it's heavy stuff, man. Like yeah, it's just
Yeah, dude, it's fucked up, man. Like at the end of the day, like it is brutal, man, and that's kind of the beauty of like the fact that you kind of survived through that is like you can look back and be like, dude, we went through that. Like we went through that.
yeah, absolutely. And for a while, it's starting and is started to become something that like I'm not so much ashamed of as it is something that I just look at as like it's made me who I am, and I'm happy with who I am today. I'm proud of myself. You know, I like myself today, and then so that allows me to be able to look at my past as more of like a learning. It was just like it was a tough time, and like I learned a lot, and like it was, you know, I've made amends to the people, to just some of the people that I hurt during that time. So like it allows me to be able to look at my past more as something that has made me who I am today, and less so something that like I'm just want to shove in the corner, shove in the back of my head and not deal with. Because if you do that, you're not going to be successful. If you just shove it in the back of your head and I don't want to deal with that, that's the past, I'm over it, you know, it'll come back and bite you one day. You know, you gotta bring that stuff out to the forefront, and you gotta deal with it, and it won't get better.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I noticed that you kind of said that you felt ashamed before. You said I don't feel as like ashamed as I do anymore. And like I honestly, like for the same kind of thing could be said. Like for the longest time I was pretty ashamed of who I was. I was pretty ashamed of, I wanted to be like the kind of like class clown. I wanted to be like confident and funny. And I was like, why do I feel like this? Like I want to portray one thing, but for some reason I feel like this, and I hated it. I was like ashamed.
Yeah,
And I feel like that was like a big like hindrance to like my pathway to getting help. Like I feel like I was like so ashamed of it that I was like in denial of it, and that's kind of why I was like, oh, I can just deal with this problem, it's not that big.
yeah.
And I feel like that hindered me so much from getting help. Do you think that the reason, like obviously you and I or other people that struggle with anything really, like do you feel like the reason you feel shame is like an internal thing, or do you think that it has to do with like the stigma attached to it, or like
Good
what do you
question,
think plays a
man.
bigger role?
Bigger role. Definitely both play a role. The stigma of what are people going to think about me, and man, this is such a shameful thing that I did. Like, you know, like I have to feel shame. Like this is so terrible, you know. And like look at how, you know, you see in the news or you're reading an article this stuff that happened, like, and maybe you feel some kind of like I was a little bit like that at one point, man. Like I'm a terrible person, and like, you know, that stigma is definitely gonna hold you down in that shame and really rub your face in it. Um, but also the internal struggle. I mean, we're human, right? Like I know I have a big conscience, and I know you do too, and like, and so that conscience can be, it's obviously essential in life to have a conscience, and because that's your moral you know, compass, or I don't know,
Mhm.
it's what kind of guides you, right? So
Yeah.
in that moral realm, so, you know, we beat ourselves up as compassionate human beings, you know, and it can be a major internal battle for sure. Like it's a major thing where you're just like, one side of your brain is like, I gotta get past this, I gotta get over this and move on and make things better and progress. And then the other side's like, dude, just go in a hole and like you're not good, and you know, and just that shame just gonna keep beating you down. So it's both, man.
Yeah. And so what do you think, because obviously none of us have the answer to this question, but like I've always kind of wondered, like, how do you think that you can erase stigmas on things? Well, I feel like, well, do you think that stigmas have any like plus sides? Because they obviously just have like, they obviously have a ton of downsides towards them. But do you think that there's like an upside for people that like have a stigma around?
I guess there could be plus sides to it.
I
I
never
don't know.
thought about that until I asked that question just now, because I was about to ask.
That's an interesting question to ask, man. Yeah. I think stigmas, they can maybe benefit in a sense that like it kind of helps like steer you through right and wrong. I don't know. That's a tough question, man. That's I don't
Yeah.
know. I'd have to do a little more thinking on that, I think, to
Yeah.
really get a good answer to that. But that's interesting, man. Yeah.
I've
I'm
never
sure.
thought about it before. I was about to ask you how we could like get rid of the stigma, and then I was like, well, should we?
Yeah.
Like I think yes, but I feel like maybe I don't know. I feel like there could be some sort of like there's got to be a reason why they're around.
Yeah.
It's
It's a good question.
such a weird thing.
It is a weird thing, yeah. It
Because
is.
I feel like you were kind of on the right track. I feel like it does help out people that aren't dealing with whatever stigmatized problem. You know, like if they're not dealing with it already, then it's going to steer them away from it because that
Sure.
stigma is like so frightening.
That's kind of where I felt my head going to. That's kind of what I was thinking a little bit. Like it helps steer you.
Then it just condemns, like it just damns the people that are struggling.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? There's a downside, right? And like you have to. I think about it, and it's like the people who are struggling from it are really. Those are the people who really need that stigma to go away. You know, they need that. They need that help. They're down and out, right? I mean, that stigma shouldn't be there for those people. But, I mean, it can guide some people who see it and think that's not what I want for my life. And it could be good for them, but it's bad for other people. You know, the ups and downs, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty against the stigmatization of, mental health. That's kind of what my whole premise is about, right? Like that I want to end the stigma, but I've never thought of it in that way. I feel like I'm still going to be on board with ending the stigma, man. I feel like that's kind of where I'm at.
I agree, dude. I agree, definitely. I've never really thought about the question of like what benefits stigma have, but I mean, stigma can be attached to a lot of things, right? Like it's not, you know, there's stigma to a whole list of stuff. So, I mean, it could vary for depending on what you're talking about. But definitely mental health. You know, that's something that it doesn't need stigma. You don't need people judging you. You know, you don't need that. That's not. I could, yeah. I mean, because also mental health isn't something you can't really. Somebody who sees it is not going to be. You're born with it, right? It's not something that you can like. It's something that's within you already, and you have to like deal with and progress and get better at. So really, I think it's just it just shouldn't be there for those people who are struggling with it. And,
Yeah. And obviously as someone that's like kind of dealt with having to battle with the stigma in the past, like what do you think kind of helped get you through that? Because you don't seem to be struggling with it now. Like you're kind of open about, you're talking about your story. You're pretty brave and open about it. But like, what do you think got you past that stigma, I guess?
wow, man, you're really making me go in depth into my brain here. You're really making me dig.
No, dude, dig deep, man.
Good, man.
Making you do all the work.
It's good, man. I
Yeah.
like doing this kind of like internal, like, you know, analysis of like
No, I'm just curious about people, man. Like, I'm just curious, dude.
Okay, well, for me, like what helped me kind of get over and like talk about my situation definitely had to be like a lot to do with like just kind like accepting it. Like I first you gotta accept like this happened, man. This is part of my story, and like and I'm not gonna get around. I'm not gonna lie about it. You know, I used to lie a lot in the past, and that's not who I want to be. And like, this is part of me, and like, take it, either take it or don't take it. It's kind of like not care. Like you kind of just gotta not care. Like what it. Some people are gonna be not like what you have to say. Some people are gonna, you know, feel some kind of way about. I'm sure there's people who probably, if I told them my story, would look down on me, but those people aren't worth your time. You know, those people are obviously going through issues of their own, and if they're gonna judge you, like you just gotta, you know, it's whatever, man. Like that's what I did for myself. I definitely feel like a lot of it was just like I accepted what had happened, and I was like and understanding that people who are gonna judge me aren't people I want in my life, aren't people that they got issues of their own, man. So it's yeah, like it's a lot to do with that.
100%, man. I love that. That was like beautifully put, because I feel like the people that cast the most amount of judgment on others, I've always kind of, in the last like year and a half, 2 years, anytime I find myself kind of judging someone, I always kind of think back afterwards and realize, okay, like, dude, you're not mad that because that person messed up. You're mad because you messed up and you're blind to it. Like, your ego is just out of whack right now.
100%. No, you're totally right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so going back to kind of like going through like getting help and stuff like that, like, how do you think, like, because it is such a difficult thing to kind of, when you are hurting, to kind of like reach out and ask for help. Like, how did you kind of take the step towards, you know, getting help from someone else, like a professional, or like, how did you go about that?
Yeah, I mean, my specific situation, like I said, I had a lot of help from my family, so I was kind of like pushed in that direction, and then it just took me taking that leap and being like, I got to make some changes, and so it was tough, man. It was tough because like we have so much pride, and like I'm either gonna like ride this into the ground or I'll fix it myself, you know, and it's like that doesn't you need help. Everybody needs help. We're human beings. We're meant to we're connect with other people, and we're social beings. We're social beings, and you need somebody who has a little more wisdom and a little bit of a different perspective to kind of like look at your situation and maybe give you some advice. So, you know, I mean, I needed a lot more than advice, but like I needed some serious intervention. But like, yeah, it just took like me, like, you know, I had a family, and it just took me just accepting that, like, you know, I got to do this. Like, I have to put my pride aside. I have to put my ego aside here. Like, this is because like I said, it would have killed me. So yeah, I just had to kind of like accept. That's what's important.
Beautiful, man. And aside from like your family, or obviously like your close buddies, like I would kind of, I assume I fall into that pool of people, but like, along the path of kind of like when you started to get some help, and then like when you kind of finished like whatever program you're doing, like, did you meet anybody like that was kind of like mentoring you through that, or like meet anybody that kind of like influenced you through that?
A lot of people, man. A lot of people. Yeah, I mean, I met a lot of great people, and I had a lot of support when I went in there, and I still have those relationships today, and I am super grateful for those relationships because I can be totally honest when I'm feeling like I have something that's maybe a little bit too difficult to share. Like I know, like, man, these people were with me at my worst, and like, you know, they're just here to help, man. They see me at my worst, so there's no judgment here. Like, I know, I know they've been through some stuff too, and they know my story. So, yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, I met a lot of good people along the way, and super grateful for those relationships today, man, for sure. Definitely.
Was there anyone that kind of like stuck out to you at all, or kind of like?
Yeah, definitely a few people. I had a good somebody who was really somebody. His name's Alex. He was a big support for me, and also another guy named Guy. His name is Guy, and he was a big support for me as well. The thing is, like, we went through very similar. Like, they were in a similar situation to me, so they were able to kind of like. I saw what they had. Like, I saw, like, there's a life after this, without going too in depth about what happened. Like, there's a life after this, and like, this is attainable, and you can get this, yeah. I mean, you were a big help for me too, man. Like, I was very lucky. I was very lucky that I had so many people who loved and cared about me, and but yeah, not to say that you anybody can do it, like, no matter what your situation is. If you're struggling, if you're in a bad spot, if you need help, anybody can do it. I just I could not stress that more. Like, it's not that the life of, like, having that good fulfilling life is attainable for anybody. Anybody. It's something anybody can get. So I truly feel that.
100%, man. Dogs are just barking away over there.
I got my dog.
You're all good, dude. Don't worry about it. I love dogs, man. I don't care. It's okay for you to make noise, man. I don't make noise. They just going nuts?
That's Bailey.
Just going nuts.
Going nuts. All right, I'm just gonna close.
No worries, dude.
All right. There we go.
All good, dude. All good. It's actually getting pretty late for me. I'm gonna start getting ready for bed. My routine. I'm up pretty early. I'm gonna be up in like less than 6 hours. So I'm gonna start wrapping my night up. But before we go, I want to say thank you so much, man, for jumping on here. Thank you so much for being open and honest. But you got one last thing to do, man.
Yeah. What is it?
So I'm super lazy, as you see, and I don't really do my own intros, but I also don't really do my own outros either. So You're going to do the outro. You can say whatever you like. You want to throw your Instagram, you want to throw whatever out there. You can tell people where they can find you, what kind of stuff you do. But you do have to share one positive message for anybody that listened this long in the conversation. So just your positive message, whatever you like, and then that's going to wrap it up for today.
Okay. So do I start with the positive message and then go?
It's all you, man. It's all you, dude.
Okay. All right.
You run the show now. I'm just some guy that puts it on YouTube.
Okay. All right. My positive message is I have to make it this. Anybody out there, no matter what your situation is, no matter where you're at in life, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to want it, and you have to put in the work, and anybody can do it. Anybody. If I can do it, you can do it. If you're listening to this, subscribe to my boy Mark. He is the best dude I know. I've known him my whole life, and I love this guy, man. This guy is good shit, and yeah, man. Subscribe. He's gonna do big things, man. He's gonna do big things. I can tell you that for sure.
Thank you so much, man, and thank you so much, everybody that listened and watched this long. I hope you guys have a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year, a great life. Enjoy it. Go out and kill it. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Peace.